All right. Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing our analysis on population change in the city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My name is Kelly Brasseaux, and my co-researcher is Jordan Cooper. So the methods that I'm going to be discussing today are the trend extrapolation methods of uh, linear growth, geometric growth, the average annual actual change, and the average annual percent change. And Jordan will be discussing cohort component methods. So here we have population data from the city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and this is from the US Census Bureau 1-year ACS estimates, as well as the 2000 decennial census. So we do not have population data from the year 2001 to 2009 because the US Census Bureau didn't do those American community surveys every year until the year 2010. So that is the data that we're starting with. And just a quick overview of the various trend extrapolation methods. The linear population model and the geometric population model are both based on historical data and assume that growth will continue in the way that it always has. The linear population model, however, specifically assumes that the population will grow at a constant rate, while the geometric population projection assumes that the rate of growth and decline changes at a constant rate. So the geometric population data is going to be less conservative than that linear population projection. However, they both have a really low data requirement and produce super readable, accessible results. And so that's why they're used a lot. So here is a graph of the data collected and analyzed. So from the year 2000 to 2019, we see that observed data from the US Census Bureau. And then from 2019 to 2030, we have our projections, our linear, geometric, average annual actual change, and average annual percent change. So if we just zoom in on those projections, we can see that the geometric projection and that average annual percent change projection are higher than the linear and average annual actual change. And this is to be expected because the linear and average annual actual change are based on a constant rate of growth, while the other two, the rate continues to increase as time goes on. So the farther away you are from that observed data, the faster that population is going to grow with the geometric and average annual percent change methods. So you can see here on the right, we have a couple data points. The 2020 population projections average at about 102,464, while the 2030 population projections average at about 116,339. The 2030 population projections vary a lot more than the 2020 population projections. And this is also to be expected with these trend extrapolation methods. The farther away you get from that observed data, the less reliable the prediction is and the more variance there is within the different methods. So that is to be expected. And here we have another summary of this data. And we're going to compare that to the 2020 census data that was collected for the city of Tuscaloosa. So the census data for 2020 is 99,600. And so comparing that to the average projected 2020 population based on our analysis, which was 102,464, That's about a 2,864 person difference, which is a little bit less than 3% of that projected population, which may not seem like a lot. However, it's estimated that the city receives $3,500 per person that's counted in the census, and these numbers will be applied for the next 10 years. And so, at a minimum, the city's losing out on $9,576,000, and at a maximum, $10,510,500. So I would recommend that the city of Tuscaloosa does contest the 2020 census data. The reason why the census data may be less than the actual population of the city of Tuscaloosa is that in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, a lot of college students returned home from their college town. The University of Alabama is in Tuscaloosa. And so people who do live in Tuscaloosa may not have been counted because they may have been home when they were filling out the census. So there's a lot of variation in the 2020 census data. And I would recommend that the city of Tuscaloosa does contest those 2020 census results. So quick discussion of the trend extrapolation methods. So while they do require a small amount of data and provide quick readable results, these trend extrapolation methods assume that growth will continue the way it has in the past, which is almost never true. There's always variance in the data. In addition, the linear, geometric, AAAC, and AAPC methods provide no context for the growth, so they don't provide any sort of explanation about why the growth may have happened. They simply provide numerical data on what it might be. So depending on what type of analysis you're looking for, that may be a con of these methods. In this particular case, I would recommend going with the linear growth model as the most accurate, just because even before 2019, Tuscaloosa's population wasn't growing very rapidly. And so that geometric growth model in which the rate of growth continues to rise over time, I believe may be less accurate going out to 2030 and beyond. And in conclusion, I would recommend that the city of Tuscaloosa does contest the 2020 census results. And now my co-researcher, Jordan Cooper, will discuss the cohort component methods. Thank you.